Alright guys, welcome to the Union Settlement Cup. I'm AlphaFerg, and my hotkeys aren't working. Shaboom. There we go. Welcome to the Union Settlement Cup. I'm AlphaFerg, and I'm going to be here casting the Episode 2 executive match between LAIKA and Pindar, and this is going to be another TVP. In fact, there's actually quite a number of Protoss in the executive round, and that's okay, because Protoss are pretty good, man. They're pretty Protoss. So here we are. It's going to be Pindar, the blue Protoss, and he's going to be playing against the red Terran LAIKA. Good luck, have fun, sir. In fact, Pindar is our lowest ranking player in the entire tournament. He just got into the Gold League, but you know what? That's okay, because he is actually quite a busy fellow. He's not a young player. He's actually quite old. He works for a living, and he plays to relax, man. And LAIKA, of course, saying he's listening to R. Kelly, and it makes him feel like he's making love to an opponent. Very suave and sensual. So both these players are getting in the mood for some StarCraft fun times. Quite like, I don't know, R. Kelly, man. It's business time. So, let's see what happens. Looks like LAIKA is just going to do it very standard. Kind of wall in with his barracks here at the ramp. In the meantime, Pindar is going to throw down his first gateway, and I'm going to get a drink of water. Delicious water. And the game will progress, and we'll see how this goes as we get into kind of the beginning openings. We'll see if LAIKA, one thing I think he likes to do is put down an early command center and try to get that kind of economic lead. It definitely paid off in another game of his, where he just like skyrocketed ahead in macro. Pindar, of course, setting up this early gateway. It looks like his gas is finishing as well. Very standard stuff, and he's going to start getting this gas to try to get his warp gate technology up. We'll see how he tries to position his units and his economy. Of course, this probe just barely getting to the base before the supply depot gets planted, and now this probe is SOL, man. He has no way out. He is stuck in this base like, I don't know, turkey in the fridge, man. He can't get out. Turkey cannot open a fridge door. And so the SCV is now going to be scouting as well, of course. Without those standard wall-ins, there's no way to lock yourself into the base. And even if you do those kind of Protoss wall-ins where you put the Zealot in hold position, the SCV can just mineral walk right on through, kind of like doing the moonwalk, only there's less Michael Jackson involved. So LAIKA is throwing down a command center right now. This is going to be a one-rack CC expand. Of course, you want to move these Marines to the front and set up a bunker so you can hold off any sort of pressure. We'll see at what point this gets scouted. Of course, scouting no gas. It's like LAIKA asking for a pause, and that's okay. Of course, when it's a replay, you never have problems, because that never happens. So chrono boosting out a Stalker, and of course a Stalker, a Zealot push is very standard. Just try to test the waters, see what you can get away with. Sometimes they can catch this bunker before it gets up, and you can actually kill an SCV or a Marine or two. And here comes that push. In the meantime, just getting this warp gate done. It looks like another Stalker being chrono boosted out as well. So Pindar is actually becoming a little aggressive. I kind of like that. It's going to try to test and see what he can get away with against LAIKA. Of course, this bunker is finished and in very good shape. There's only 3 Marines there, and if there's enough damage, they can take out the bunker, maybe even just walk by and start to do damage to this command center. It looks like we'll see what this happens. No, LAIKA's just going to chase off this poor Zealot. Does a lot of damage, and this is going to kind of delay things, and it looks like Pindar immediately throws down a Nexus. Actually, it was probably down before that engagement happened. So both players are going to try to play a more economic game, and Pindar is now putting down his standard 3 gateways and having Cybercore finishing Warp Gate as well. The second assimilator is going down, so it's not going to be kind of those 4-gate push after you get the expansion. Should be pretty standard, and both players are actually keeping very close in the Harvester count. This game is going to progress into the mid game right now. Unfortunately, my water just progressed into the late game because I ran out. So what's going on. Warp gate's finished, and it looks like the Robotech is where Pindar wants to go. I kind of like that, especially on this map. You can kind of just sit around with Immortals and Colossi and get a nice 3-base, huge death ball. Meanwhile, LAIKA looks to be focusing more on bio as well. He should be throwing down an engineering base shortly, if I learned his builds correctly, but he does have actually Marauders, and he might actually be trying to do a push right now. He unfortunately is supply blocked, the supply depot, a little bit late, but he's going to start moving out. It looks like he's going to try to catch any sort of third or second base before it gets too much defense. Of course, with these 3 gates completed, the Robo will be able to Chrono Boost out into Mortal very shortly. And Pindar pulling back his units instead of losing it, and actually this is going to be a pretty good hold. I don't think this Bioforce can do much damage. Let's see what happens as it moves in. It's trying to get position. My hotkeys aren't working. This hotkey is like the least reliable thing. And very nice force field there, taking out a lot of the bio is what these Stalkers are great at doing, man. I don't think any units there fell. 5 units total killed for Pindar, so he's actually way ahead right now. You can see he's almost 10 supply ahead. And the second warp cycle gets these Zealots out as well. So this push is effectively dead for LAIKA, but you know what? That's okay. It was just kind of to test the waters. And now he's going to continue macroing up. You can see he's actually very good at continuing to build those 2 SCVs, while Pindar does not quite have the SCV production of LAIKA, and he's kind of fallen behind in the production. Look at that. But you know what? Pindar is actually in pretty good shape. He has the tech going down. He has this these units being chrono boosted out. There's the forge. You can see there's going to be double engineering base here for LAIKA along with the factory. This is probably going to immediately turn into some sort of medevac pumping station. So LAIKA is going to want to get the second gas up so he can have a lot of gas for those medevacs. Though he does actually have quite a bit of gas right now. But throwing down the starport almost immediately, and both players now are kind of just sitting back and they're trying to get that perfect unit composition up. Of course, Pindar wants to get a lot of gateway units and Immortals out. We'll see if he throws down a Colossus factory soon. Of course, LAIKA is going to be aiming for that bio ball. He's going to have Marauders, Marines. He has double upgrades pumping out of these engineering bays, and the medevacs are oh so important. All the tech is done for those bio. So this is going to turn into a pretty nice game. It should prove to see some very fun engagements between the Protoss and Terran forces. Unfortunately, getting a little bit supply block there does Pindar, but he's actually pretty far ahead in supply, so he can kind of eat those damage right now, and you can see throwing down a bunch of pylons as well. Here comes the second push. It's a lot more Marauder heavy, but with the Immortal out, it's not going to be too much more damage, and that's actually a healthy number of Zealots as well. You can see he's getting out ground armor 1 first. It's going to make those Zealots much more hardy. It actually takes Marines about 1 billion years to kill Zealots with +1 armor. Of course, both players trying to find out when the other takes that third, because leaving a third base unharassed can mean the difference between life and death in a TVP matchup. And that's a lot of Zealots as well. So both players are still sitting back. Pindar is actually getting way up ahead. This warp gate technology is pretty good, man. It's pretty nice. And actually getting a Twilight Council right now instead of that Colossus Den. Robotic support bay. Actually, I'm making up names now for what it's called. I don't know what the Colossus Den is called. I called it Colossus Factory. I'm a horrible caster, man. Don't even listen to me. Here come the first medevacs, but both players are actually getting into position for an attack. Pindar is moving around the north, while LAIKA is moving around the south. Pindar actually stopped unit production for a while, and he's stockpiling quite a bit of minerals. He's focusing right now on attacking, and he's going to catch a lot of these reinforcements without their pants, man. Here comes the engagement. A stim right here, but these Zealots are actually providing a great tank. These force fields are actually doing a good job, and the Zealots are almost out, but a lot of these bio forces has fallen if he takes them out. If he takes out the medevacs, LAIKA may just be out of luck. So, let's see how this goes. It looks like the forces are still engaging. The first medevac falls, the second medevac falls. More stalkers here in the back taking out even more. They're falling, but you know what? Pindar is staying very even in supply right now, while LAIKA has fallen almost 20 supply. And here comes starting to get those upgrades out of the Twilight Council. charge, more immortals coming out. Pindar is actually going to be very, very safe right now. He should probably throw down a few more gateways and maybe even take a third, but here comes a nice push right here, just harassing with these stalkers. It'll delay this push for this base for a long enough time for Pindar to get set up into a nice attacking position, because it looks like he's just trying to 2-base right now. Unfortunately, these stalkers do not have links, so they can't escape from that push, but here comes a push right up into the main. And getting his units all grouped up, very smart to do before you push in. And he's going to move in with Zealots at the third as well. So this is going to be a nice push. And here's the big engagement. The Bio are trying to stim. They have a nice concave, but do they have enough units? Looks like it's very even right now in the unit count, but these Immortals are going to work. You see they have 7 kills between them, backing up into the bunker. But you know what's important? Where did the Zealots go, man? I don't know. They just died. So the Zealots were actually what was important in that push. There must have been something to hold them off, but I'm not sure what it was. Maybe the SCVs just killed the Zealots. That would have been scary, man. So this Bio is starting to take out the Immortals, and they will clean up this push, but no, it wasn't the SCVs. I don't know what killed those Zealots. Maybe they just moved up into this attack. That's the only thing that I think could have happened. But Pindar did not do the economic damage he needed right there, and LAIKA now has Ghosts in this attack. He has the Medivacs being pumped out, and Pindar is now set up for Colossus tech, but it's actually pretty late. He has a lot of money that he should have spent on army in that attack. It could have gone much differently, and now Pindar is going to be fighting from behind, especially because he doesn't have that all-important third, and he did not take out LAIKA's. He does have a proxy pylon. Maybe you get Dark Templars. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. There are those additional gateways, but they're a lot later than you'd want them to be. And I think LAIKA is going to teach a lesson here to Pindar. If you don't keep up on economy, LAIKA goes crazy, man. And LAIKA can actually throw down a ton more barracks right now. He's going to start pumping out Marines and Marauders in such high numbers. He's going to be able to throw down a lot of command centers as well, and just abuse that orbital command stacking with the mules on a base. Pindar's now trying to set up his base, but it's a little bit late. Of course, Marines scouting it very, very easily. And LAIKA's moving in for the kill right now. There is a Colossus. It does not have Colossus range quite yet. It's actually about 2 minutes away from that upgrade. And the Zealots have charge, which is going to be nice. It's especially going to be nice as the Colossus count rises, just to lock down those Bio units and make sure they take damage. But here is another engagement. They're actually taking out the Ghost, but is there an EMP? It doesn't look like the EMPs get down, and this Bio unit is taking a lot of damage. They do snipe the Colossus, but a lot of the units fall. It looks like reinforcements are catching. The Stalkers are not able to do too much damage to the Bio. I think having such a high Stalker count is actually hurting Pindar. More Zealots would be helpful, but oh my gosh, there was a drop here in the main, and it's going to be able to do so much damage. This army is trying to catch up, but it's taking out oh my gosh, it's going to snipe the robotics bay. That is so important, and now LAIKA can just lift off if he wants to. He's done the damage that he aimed to, and poor Mr. Marauder didn't get out when he could, but that is going to delay the Colossus range for so long, and that's not good, man. That's not good at all. Of course, some Bio down here just poking away at these units. Of course, they're going to be able to snipe these probes very quickly. And maybe even take out this Nexus, but here comes the Protoss army to deal with it, and LAIKA is actually starting to go into macro mode craziness, man. He has a lot of money, he has a lot of barracks. When he gets them working, he'll be very, very well off. Throwing down those command centers, like I said, is something you can do when you have such high mineral count. It looks like the return of the drop, man, and he's starting knifing probes left and right. Here comes a warp in to try to do damage with these Zealots, but you can just lift off and just hang out, and you can see 16 workers killed. LAIKA is starting to just pull further and further ahead in the game. Here comes a push. He's going to try to take out the third. Not bad decision at all. Of course, the factory getting involved as well. He wants in on some of the fun. And Pindar's army is just not big enough, and it's not able to split well. Of course, these drops are going to be continually daunting for LAIKA. For Pindar to have to try to face off against, and LAIKA is going to be able to move in here. Look at, he's dropping just to pull this army back into the main, and this third base is going to fall so quickly. Of course, lifting off and just moving away these Units are still up, but here's the scary bit, man. Losing the third. Pindar knows he cannot fight now, and he's just going to GG. LAIKA doing a great job here in the Union Settlement Cup. I'm AlphaFerg. I will talk to you guys later.